Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is for educational purpose only. I'd like to start by wishing all my subscribers a lovely week, a pleasant week. This is for fair use purpose. Gizla K, Grizzly True Crime, has been working on this case from the beginning. And I've shown this text before. I find it to be very important. There was a mother who put up this text of a student who went to Sigma Chi, who knew Ethan. She said, "This is so hard to watch. Ethan texted my son at 2 a.m. and he's almost positive they were still at the Sigma Chi at that time. Based on what the text said, that wouldn't put them at the house until at least 2:10, 2:15. My son called the tip line and reported this days ago, but they're still saying they think that E and Zana were at the house at 1:45. Frustrating. So if Ethan, his friend, reported this to the police, that he texted E, and E said that he was at the Sigma Chi. Think about that. That was at least between 2:10 to 2:15. Let's not forget, what did E's mother say? She said that 2 a.m. is the hardest time for her family. So E and Zana were at the Sigma Chi between 2:10 to 2:15. Why did the police say that the couple and Maddie and Kaylee were all home at 1:45? That wouldn't be right. That means E and Zana couldn't have got home until 2:15 a.m. And this boy, his mother even told the FBI, but they still did not change the timeline. I wonder why. What are they hiding? The police told us, Moscow, Idaho Police Chief Fry said that they believe that all 4 victims and the 2 surviving roommates were home at 1:45, but that isn't true. E and Zana would have been home by 2:15, if not a bit later, because they texted the text between Ethan, who texted this boy, and he said he was still at the Sigma Chi. So now we can place E and Zana at the Sigma Chi at 2:15. They weren't at 1122 Kings Road. So what happened? Were E and Zana unalived somewhere else? Or were they unalived after 2:15? Maybe on the way back home. I've never believed that this happened at 4 to 4:25. I find this text of this boy and his mother to be very important, because this is about actually the timeline when you think about it. We used to always wonder, why are they changing the timeline? So let me read this again for you once again. This is so hard to watch. Ethan texted my son at 2 a.m. and he's almost positive they were still at the Sigma Chi at that time, based on what the text said. So that wouldn't put them at the house until 2:10 to 2:15. My son called the tip line and reported this days ago, but they're still saying they think E and Zana were at the house at 1:45. The mother ended the text by saying, frustrating. So basically, when people were coming out with real, valid information of the timeline, and E texted this woman his son. So I think that was one of ETHANS' final text, is to this boy. 2:10. Now remember what was going on that we know about between 2 to 3 o'clock or 3:16. Let me remind you. There was the grub truck, Jack Showalter, Maddie Cayley walking, Jack Showalter threatened them, or he passed a message by saying, they're going to get you, Maddie. You know they're going to get you, girls. We saw the whole grub truck. What is strange and what I find interesting, if E and Zana got home between 2:10 to 2:15 a.m., what was happening at the grub truck? Weren't they yelling out Zana and E's name? And that was around 2:15. That was between 2 to 2:20. I've always been focused on Zana and E's timeline. If you go back to my clips from the beginning of this case, you see there's two, besides the grub truck and besides the 4chan, and besides Jack D and his injuries, which I always point out, it's good that the other creators were really discussing and thinking about Jack D, which is good because everyone should have paid attention to Jack D from the beginning. That's my personal opinion, because I've seen injuries on him. He wasn't acting normal. His timeline didn't make sense. That he fell asleep right after he left the corner club. And his alibi is Adam. So Adam and Jack D I don't trust. Showalter I don't trust. And I'm shocked that Showalter was let to drive to his parents' house. That means somebody actually left Idaho, Moscow while this crime was going on or after it was finished. The person who left was Showalter, that we know of. He could have actually taken the K-bar knife. He could have taken whatever the police are searching for. We know that he has family in influence places. He has two brothers who are doctors, mother, father who are doctors. They know people, defense attorneys and such things in Boise. That is one of the reasons I don't want this case to be moved to Boise. I don't believe Coburg is going to get a fair trial in Boise either. You have to think, out of all these people who are kind of associated with this case or involved in this case, you have the two surviving roommates, both are from Boise, Idaho. You have Showalter, aka Hoodie Guy, from Boise, Idaho. If I'm not wrong, Jake, Maddie's boyfriend, is from Boise, Idaho. And the many students who are from Boise, Idaho. So I definitely believe that there is a lot of errors with Ethan Ethan and Zano is timeline, definitely. Where were they? How did they come home? I'd love to know. Did E drive his Jeep to the Sigma Chi, or did they walk down? We heard a female yelling, "Stop it, stop." Could it have been E being attacked and Zana yelling? We don't know. But those are questions we need to know. Questions we need to ask. What are the connections between these people? The two surviving roommates are from Boise. They know Jack Showalter. BF was sitting on Jack Showalter's lap in high school in Boise. So the surviving roommates know Showalter from before. Were they involved? It leaked from the jury that they were texting each other. What were they texting each other about? I thought DM was supposed to be in the frozen shock mood or state. If she froze, she couldn't be texting. And for the person to have allegedly seen DM, what's it called, the suspect. If the suspect saw DM, why would he let her still be alive so that she can testify? That doesn't make sense at all. Why would they let DM be around to tell the story? That is what doesn't make sense. I wonder if the surviving roommates were actually at home that night. When did they come home? And when did E and Zana come home? I don't think they came home at 1:45. I think that E and Zana were at home when her father called her at 12, and they must have decided to go to the party at Sigma Chi for a while. And I believe the fight happened with the Davids. And it ended. It tended to be not good, I guess. What was David Lodge doing at the grub truck? It was very creepy. He was just standing behind Maddie and Kaylee with his two friends. And as soon as the girls came in, he told his friends to turn around. They all turned their backs to Maddie and Kaylee and the grub truck so that Maddie and Kaylee wouldn't recognize them. When David Lodge came to collect his food, we saw the shock on Maddie's face. I wonder what really happened to Maddie and Kaylee when they went home. Was E and Zan already at home? Were they harmed outside? Something is not right to the timeline. Absolutely not. And if something is not right to the timeline, everything else won't be right. The two surviving roommates were supposed to be sleeping in the first floor, but now Dylan is supposed to be actually a witness who saw the suspect and he didn't harm her. They're trying to say that the suspect may have not seen Dylan, which I doubt. The house is so small, and the way, if BK or whoever did this was walking from Xana's room, they would have definitely seen DM, I believe. This is not right. They changed their timelines, and I believe this has to do with the Greek system in the school, the Greek people and all that. Bethany Funk and DM no more, but they're not going to talk, obviously. I find it kind of strange that they didn't even come to the memorial. I understand they had a lot of heat on them and they're scared of people harassing them or bothering them. But those are your best friends, your roommates, that this horrible tragedy happened to. And the memorial was 2.5 weeks later. I wonder sometimes, was DM and BF injured? Did somebody go to the hospital? That's what we heard in the beginning. There's something that's not right because DM and BF have hidden their face since the beginning of this. We've seen DM once parting, but we haven't seen these girls the first month to see if there was any injury on their fingers or anywhere else. This is just in my opinion. So I wonder if all the roommates were home at 1:45, because I do not believe that. I believe that E and Zana got home between 2:10 to 2:15, because E's friend who got the text from E showed that to the police. So there's evidence that E and Zana were alive at 2:10 to 2:15. If you'll read it on the right-hand side, this is so hard to watch. E texted my son at 2 a.m. and is almost positive that they were still at the Sigma Chi at that time. Based on what the text said, that wouldn't put them at the house until at least 2:10 to 2:15. My son called the tip line and reported this days ago, but they're still saying they think E and Zana were at the house at 1:45. So now we're basically going according to what the police think or thought. We're not going around the facts. And the fact is that this young man got a text from E. Please let me know what y'all think about this. May the 4 victims rest in peace. May the correct justice be served.